Abdurrahman, mashallah.
I have another question from Surah Maryam.
Yes.
Verse 63. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. لا يسمعون فيها لغوا إلا سلاما ولهم رزقهم فيها بكرة وعشية. So in Jannah, how Bukratan wa Ashiya is applicable?
This is beautiful point. Yes, read it again. As I have repeatedly spoken on the style of the Quran, the language of the Quran is applicable both to the promises of this world and also of the world to come. The translation will be in the context of which world you're thinking about in reading these verses. So, first of all, it applies to the world, the promises of a Jannah here in this world. If you follow the instructions of the Holy Quran, only then you will follow peace. And as far as the food is concerned, the paucity of food, that will not be any problem. This is the prime meaning which is applicable to the life here on earth. And now I remind you of the first Jannah of Hazrat Adam. That was also peaceful. And there too, the peace lasted until they violated the injunction of Allah. And their food was guaranteed. Allah tajua fiha, wala tazma fiha, wala tara.
Wala tajua fiha, wala tara.
Wala tajua fiha. Read the verse. ولا تجوع فيها ولا تعرى لا تظمأ فيها ولا تضحى. Four promises.
Yes.
Food, water, shelter and clothing. So that was the Jannah. This is the minimum concept of Jannah. Otherwise, the Jannah in the hereafter does not promise you just these four things. So that shows, number one, that it is the beginning of Jannah through religion, which Allah is talking about. When religion is revealed and people follow the religion, then food is no problem. Then every member of the community is guaranteed the minimum requirement of his livelihood. Water, clothing, shelter and food. It is more than what the communists promise in this advanced age. وَإِنَّ لَكَ أَلَّا تَجُوعَ فِيهَا وَلَا تَعْرَى وَأَنَّكَ لَا تَظْمَأُ فِيهَا وَلَا تَضْحَى. So these are the four promises, while they do not make any promise for water. Well, healthy water is now found to be the most important need of the most suffering people in Africa and also elsewhere. If healthy water is not guaranteed, then it's not Jannah. So Allah, in the very preliminary, rudimentary concept of Jannah on earth, has promised these four things. So that is what I mean, that the word Jannah, which you normally relate to the life after death, is proved in the Holy Quran to relate to the life here primarily, first thing to begin with. So if Bukratam wa Asila was not mentioned, Ashiya was not mentioned, and a scene was created where there is no sunrise, no sunset, and everything is continuous, how could it apply to this world? So Bukratam wa Ashiya in relation to the hereafter also has a very profound meaning. anything monotonous is boring. Change is what is needed. Now that bukra will not be the bukra brought by sun. That ashia will not be the ashia ushered by the sunset. But there will be some change in the atmosphere, in the feelings of the Ahl Jannah, whereby a sort of morning will rise and a sort of evening will set, bringing the beauties which relate particularly to these two times of change. And the main requirements of food, the most important requirements are at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. If you have a good meal in the beginning and a good meal at the end, you have everything. So this is the guarantee of that Jannah which applies to this world as well as to the world, to the Jannah of the hereafter. Okay? Assalamu alaikum. Translation tomorrow. Please, I'm sorry, tell them.
Next week.
Translation next time.
Next week will be.
Of course.
سأقدم لحضراتكم ترجمة مقال وحط المؤمنين في الأسبوع المقبل إن شاء الله. شكرا على حسن المتابعة والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.